So I will not stand between you and Madam Jasoda Gulliya, and I will now request the honorable the principal, our leading principal, Professor Saurabh Agarwal, to formally introduce and speak a few words about Jasoda, Madam. And in fact, Jasoda will be speaking mostly, will be more interested to answer our queries, questions raised concerning this business leadership business, how the education, commerce education, management education helps it. She will be meeting that. Now I will request Professor Saurabh Agarwal to start the introduction of Madam. Thank you, Professor Saurabh Agarwal. Please start it.
So before I discuss, tell you about Jasoda Gulliya, a small introduction about IF College of Commerce. So IF College of Commerce was set up in 2016 under the patronage of Indian Institute of Finance, established 1987. We are an affiliated degree college of Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut. We are offering BBA degree program, which is spread over 6 semesters of 6 papers each. So in all 36 papers, focus is on management and practical aspects of running a business. Apart from this, we also offer BCom degree, which is run in annual mode and has 20 papers in all. Apart from the teaching of the university syllabus, we focus on total personality development, visit to industry, banks, companies. The entire syllabus and the various papers that are there is available on our website. But unique thing is that BCom focus is on accounting and audit, but in case of BBA, the focus is on managerial aspects. While the BCom course is relevant for those who wish to pursue a career in CA, CS, ICWA, CFA, BBA is relevant for those who intend to do their MBA. And many new courses like entrepreneurship, online accounting, project management, such papers have been added in the syllabus. The admission process is very simple and is currently open. So one can go on to CCS University website, go into the student section, apply, and can opt for our college. After doing that, he can visit the college with the 10th and 12th mark sheet. And based on the merit list, we will give him admission in our college. So this is our campus. We are located in Knowledge Park 3, very close to Knowledge Park 2 metro station and prestigious Sharda University. We continue to have many eminent personalities like Professor J.L. Gupta, who is former principal of SRCC, visited us. We also had Professor Simrit Kaur, current principal, Shri Ram College of Commerce, visit us. Recently, on 6th of August, we had organized a webinar, just like today, of Professor Anil Kumar, Professor Shri Ram College of Commerce. We also had one webinar by Professor C.S. Sharma, Professor Shri Ram College of Commerce. We have a beautiful library spread over 15,000 square feet, having more than 55,000 books and 900 technical journals. We have books in English and Hindi. This is the journal section, project section. So Jasoda would remember, she would have completed her project. So project would be also there in this section. This is the library. This is the computer center. The new indoor gym with TT table, carom board, treadmill, cross trainer, and other such facilities. We are very, very fortunate to have esteemed members like Professor Panda, who has been former Registrar, University of Delhi, to be on the managing committee. Many eminent professors like Professor P.K. Chaube, Professor K.K. Panda, Professor J.D. Agarwal, who is the founder, chairman, Professor J.P. Sharma, Advocate Sunil Goyal, Professor A.L. Nagar, Professor Manju Agarwal, and Shri Harshvardhan, who are there on the managing committee. With IF College, you are in safe hands. We are proud to have two departments, Department of Commerce, and Department of Commerce has 4 faculty members apart from me as the principal, Dr. Manju Agarwal, Professor R.K. Agarwal, Professor Deepak Bansal, and Ms. Kanika Thakur. They are MCOM, UGC NET, PhDs. We are also have a Department of Management having MBAs who are leading the Department of Management. We keep on organizing plantation drives at the campus, and in near future also we intend to have more than 500 trees planted at the campus. Our students continue to visit various factories. So this is one photograph of one plant visit, a current batch passing out in 2022. So this is about IF College of Commerce. Now I must share with you about Jasoda, the speaker for today. We are proud to have her as our alumni. She is from the batch 2006 and 8 of the prestigious Management of Business Finance program. I was the placement coordinator then at the institute, and I remember Chola Mandalam DBS Finance Murugrappa group visiting us, and she was campus placed at this same company. She has 13 years of managerial experience in business development, strategic partnership, DSA vertical, retail branches, branding and marketing, pan-India in various companies and industries. She is currently the Vice President, Business Development at PrestLoans. Formerly, she has been AGM at Kamdhenu Paints, Manager at Sanitary Ware, Euro Ceramics Limited, Deputy Manager at DSA Vertical. She did her BCom from Jesus and Mary College, University of Delhi. Her technical qualifications include MS Office and Tele 7.1. She is the recipient of Woman of Excellence Award 2020-21 by Indian Achievers Award. And apart from this, she is not only a bright academically established businesswoman leader, she has played volleyball at state, national and international level, represented India in European Masters game in Italy, July 2019, represented Delhi more than 20 times in national games, declared the best player of the tournament in Delhi State Volleyball Championship in 2004. She was an outstanding player in Jesus and Mary College 2005. She secured 3rd place in All India University Bilaspur 2004. Best player in All India Volleyball Championship Pilani, Rajasthan in 2005. We are extremely proud of you, Jasoda, and I am very happy to you that you have agreed to discuss today a very important topic. How does commerce/management education nurture business leadership? And before I give you the house, I would appreciate if you can introduce yourself briefly about your life at Indian Institute of Finance, about our Management of Business Finance program, about the sports life and current professional profile. Thank you. Over to you, Jasoda.
Thank you so much, sir. Such a nice introduction you've given to me. And I'm feeling so blessed that I'm here again among all of my previous, Aman sir, in fact, Saurabh sir. I'm feeling like a student again today, that I'm among all of you today. And it's my pleasure that I can interact with the students of current batch and upcoming batch of IF. Talking about my life at IF, I'm again feeling childhood life, and I'm pretty fascinated about those days. I cannot forget that apart from that classroom knowledge and learnings, we have a wonderful time while giving kind of presentation. And I remember one of the things which I used to enjoy a lot, and it was a great learning for us. That was financial review we used to give in the every evening. That was, we used to pick a topic from the newspaper, current affairs, and then we used to present in front of students and the fraternity, which gives a great learning. And of course, it add values when your fraternity asks questions in revert, and you give a kind of learning that how our this student life actually can relate the upcoming manager life in our future. So that was a great learning during that time. I remember my college days when I represented IF in one of the fashion show and modeling in SRCC college, where Yamini ma'am actually was supporting us for that. That was again a kind of learning that yes, in our extracurriculum activities, I could enhance my personality walking through a stage. That was adding value to me, of course, which is currently I'm using that confidence level. Apart from that, I cannot forget that every time I can go and meet every our lecturers, can ask any question, any odd moment, and they were always welcomed us for any queries. Those were the that was the time period when I learned a lot. Apart from that, the most important part which actually add a value to a student life, I remember we used to go out and attend seminars in various places like PhD chamber and PhD chamber, ICI, where prominent personalities used to conduct the seminars and add value to our knowledge. So that was the kind of knowledge and that kind of support from the institute which gives value to, and they are actually preparing future managers in the campus. Amazing life I had at IF. I'm sure a book knowledge and lecturer definitely add values, but apart from that, in campus life definitely adds value to your life, and I'm actually using that every stage, every company, every industry, because this is how I built today. So this is how I spend my beautiful moments in IF. Talking about my sports life, I started at very early age. I was just 11-year kid when I started playing volleyball. Within 1 year of practice, I played for Delhi. It was my first national games in Kolkata. I represented Delhi. And after that, there was no look back, because during my sports life, I was always a bright sports person. I got so many best player awards, outstanding player awards, and I could represent Delhi almost 17 times in open national games, and 3 times in when I was pursuing my graduation, I 3 times represented Delhi in All India University Games. I'm one of the fortunate, I would say, one of the fortunate sports person who can represent India recently 2019 in European Masters game and won gold for India. That was the best moment of my life, of course, because I always wanted to represent my country once in my life. So that was the kind of dream came true. And I'm actually honored to have that thing in my life. And now presently I'm working with PrestLoan. PrestLoan is our brand name, and Lord Krishna Financial Services is our registered name with RBI. We are an NBFC company providing small business or small ticket size business loans. And here I'm working as a vice president, handling 4 departments. One is branch model, one is DSA vertical I'm heading, and the third is I'm heading corporate tie-ups of the companies or corporate tie-ups. Then I'm heading all branding and marketing activities of the companies. This is how I'm presently doing. Over to you.
Okay, great. Yes. Can you give us more details about your role in the current organization? and also tell us more about the organization structure of PrestLoans.
Yes, sir. So as I said, I'm heading 4 departments in my current organization. One is a branch model where we generate business from our own executives. They go into field and get business, and our credit team underwrite that applications of business loans. And secondly, we do business, generating business from direct sales agencies. These agencies approaches us and give files to us where our underwriting team go through with all the application and process the case. In that case, 100% risk is ours because we are doing our own underwriting norms and everything. Thirdly, I'm doing corporate tie-ups. In corporate tie-ups, we have 2 type of tie-ups, where one is strategic tie-ups we do with the fintech companies and small NBFCs. In these tie-ups, all 100% risk is with the that small NBFC and fintech partners, and we sharing good revenues with them. And in corporate tie-ups, recently there was a news that we recently tied with Terra Motor, which is a Japanese manufacturing company of electric vehicles. We tied up with them for financing their electric vehicles to the end users. So we are financing that. In that case, entire risk is our, because we are evaluating these customers directly. We are checking their papers. We are do all underwriting things at our own. So this is a kind of tie-up. We had a corporate tie-up recently. Apart from that, we do all branding and marketing. So branding and marketing, what we do is there are two type of branding and marketing we do. One is offline and one is online. In case we are aware that social media is one of the topmost platform where all the users, corporate clients, all the DSAs, our own peer companies are available. So this is the platform where we actually decide what kind of presence we should have among these people. So we decide like what kind of branding we should do and whom should we target at once. So we decide kind of content we should provide on these platforms. Secondly, we do offline marketing where we target direct client. So we are doing pamphlet distribution, we are doing canopies, we are giving ads in the newspaper where we can directly target the client. They can see and approach us for the loans. So these are the things I am actually directly handling these 4 departments. I'm sure because handling these 4 departments is not an independent identity. So I'm coordinating with other departments like operations, accounts department, collection department, so that the working should be smoothened enough to meet our TAT and we can work together to perform well. So this is how we are doing. And in each of the department, a commerce and MBA student have ample amount of opportunity to get into in each department. Apart from these 4 departments, I'm directly heading in all operation department, accounts department, and back office work. Commerce students and MBA student definitely can apply and can work in these departments. So I would say there are ample opportunities are there available for commerce and MBA student, because I'm sure we do not have any science student, we don't have any art student. We all are commerce student or MBA student, because we always look forward for some leadership, quick decisioning, which we learn at the. I can relate with my campus because I'm sure I learned these things during my campus. So I'm utilizing these things, and I'm also expecting these things from my junior level staff. So we also look forward for a student or a person who's from the commerce graduate, who is from the MBA, who's from MBA background, so that they can directly relate and cope up with the working of the organization. So this is how we do it. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. So how have you grown from a management trainee at Cholamandalam to the current leadership position of being vice president at PrestLoans?
So I'm one of the student, and who was very thankful for my campus IF who given the opportunity and to present myself during the campus placement. I got selection through the campus placement only, and I worked with Cholamandalam as my first job. So my first job was from IF only. So during my, Cholamandalam days, I utilized all my knowledge, my whatever learning I had, kind of personality I developed in during my campus. I utilized all those things during my actual practical work I did in Cholamandalam Business Finance. So during the time when I spent a good time, then I decided that yes, I'm kind of risk-taking person where I can utilize my other skills which I learned during my campus. I can utilize those skills in other segment, other industry. So I switched to
जो
another
आज
company.
का सर बता रहे थे शायद थोड़ा सा आपको डिफिकल्ट हो रहा था वो हमने कर दिया है सौरभ को भी
I utilize all my skills during my working, and
हाँ
this
सॉरी
time I decided to move into other industry because I wanted to utilize all those learning which I learned during my campus. I moved to ceramic industry. I spent good time there. I worked with all my skills which I learned. Then I moved to paint industry. I worked for a sanitary industry. I worked for a tile company where all I could utilize my all skills. During the time of my paint company where I worked, I could work Pan India, where I was heading Pan India team. I was one of the person who can founded one paint for the company, and we could distribute that Pan India. I was the one who actually launched that product, and it was kind of achievement. I would say that I can install more than 100 galleries for my that paint company where I was working earlier. So that was kind of achievement I had, and I'm sure without learning, without a backup, you cannot perform well. So I'm thankful again for the IF for doing. I could perform so well. So because during this time, again back of my mind, I always had that attachment with finance industry because I did my MBA into finance. So I moved again into finance industry, where the company I'm presently working 4 years back, PrestLoans, Lord Krishna Financial Services. So since then, from last 4 years, I'm working here. So this is how I'm using all my team handling, passion for work, intellectual with the team management, coordination with the team, client servicing, client retentionship, everything I learned during my campus, which I'm utilizing today. And today I'm at a leadership position where I'm handling all my departments all together. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Sports and leadership role are totally different. How do you relate them?
So in this way, I would say, sir, in case we go as an independent identity, as a sports person, and as a vice president of company, definitely these two roles are entirely different. One cannot relate them. But because I myself as a team member in a sports, and again I'm a team member among all the departments in my present company, I can relate with them altogether. So for me, these two things are equally same. I'll give you an example. When I'm playing in volleyball, we are 6 players. One is a serviceman, one is defender, one is attacker, one is a libero, one is a lifter. So when we all work together in a same synergy with same passion, and we win a game. Similarly, in my present role in my PrestLoans, when we are in a lending business, we have departments like one sales, credit, operations, accounts, collections. When all these departments work together, then we perform well. So for me, I'm utilizing all those things which I learned during my sports time, all that passion, working in a team management, and quick decisioning, being passionate all the time. So I'm utilizing those all skills in my present role. So for me, these two things similar. Over to you, sir.
Okay. What are the challenges in profession for women?
So as a woman, when I get into professional life, I'm sure there are certain challenges. I'm sure. Because once you move out of your comfort zone, you always feel like that, yes, there are challenges. You go to the office, you have some different schedule of working, you meet different people, you face a lot of challenges, deadlines and everything. But then I would say these challenges are opportunity for a working woman. So they can enhance in their career, they can develop their skills. Rather, sitting at home, and these days we are well aware of the situations where women are actually facing some domestic violence and certain other issues. So I would say women should come out of the house and they should utilize those learning they had in their academics and during their college, their MBA, during their academic previously. So they should utilize those skills instead of sitting at home. I'm sure there are challenges. I can connect myself with this in case people do ask me that how you do all these things all together, being into sports, being into working life, being at home, being a mother, being a wife, being a daughter-in-law. So I'm sure these are a challenge, but I would say these are opportunity also. This is all depend that how you handling them. I would say when I am at home, I'm at home means I'm completely at home and I'm performing all my responsibility there. I cannot avoid my responsibility which my husband expect with me, my son expect me, and other responsibility towards the household work and everything. So when I'm at home, I forget that I'm a vice president of a company, I'm sports person, so I'm completely at home. When I moved into my organization, I forget everything else, but I remember that I'm a vice president of company and I have certain responsibility towards each of the department with where I'm performing and where I'm heading them. So each executive, each manager, each senior manager, I'm supposed to see if they're working properly. All the departments, we have a synchronized, we have a proper working so that we can perform well. So at that moment, I forget that yes, I'm a player. I have certain responsibility at home. I forget everything else. Otherwise, I'll face all the challenges altogether if I'll do everything at once. When I go to field as a sports person, then I forget that yes, I'm a vice president or a homemaker. I always remember that yes, I'm a passionate sports person. I have set of responsibility towards my team. I need to play. I need to give my 100% this moment. I need to be alert every moment. I should give my 100% for every point I supposed to die at every moment. So that moment I forget everything else. So I what I all remember is I'm a sports person. But then in case if we see, my personal suggestion, person may vary. A person may vary with my suggestion, I'm sure. I would say in case if a woman spend good time in education and they have learned something, and in case they have some passion, they wants to do something in their life, they should come forward. They should live their life. In recent in recently in one of my interview, I was asked, like, in case of one message I supposed to do, I given simply one line that yes, if somebody wants to fly, they should fly, because you have to create your wings. Nobody would come forward and create your wings. So you please create your wings in terms of create that aura presence where you can work and do whatever you wants to do. I'm sure there are some challenges in every woman's life. So, but then you just take these challenges forward so that you can present yourself. First of all, once a woman is working, though it is a challenging, I would say, but then the best thing what gives it that you become financially independent. Once you become financial independent, it gives you more of the rights. Like you can take your own decision. You being more confident. You can your suggestions will be definitely taken out, and so these things definitely add values, and these challenges will give you opportunity to grow more. So I would say yes, there are challenges, but then these are opportunities. Over to you, sir.
Okay. What in your opinion regarding on what basis should a student decide his career? That is, example, between a startup company or a brand. What should he choose and why?
So deciding upon a career on the basis of brand and existing brand and startup, I guess it's more of a person's individuality. Depends on the individuality, what kind of personality they have. if what they think actually, and how risk they can take. The person is risk averse or risk taker. I can connect with me. Let's say in case I am the person who wants to decide and what I wants to choose out of those things, I would suggest let's start with the startup, because a startup can give you more of the opportunity, a big platform to learn, more of the departments to interact, more work to do. So that will give you more of the practical knowledge. But then when I go to a established brand, they will give me a very small part where I will perform a limited job part, which will give you a small and specified role to learn. So I mean, depends. In case if you really wants to uh, you really wants to be in comfort zone, definitely you should select a brand where you'll get a specific salary, you'll get a good salary, and you'll have limited kind of work. But then in case if you're a risk taker person, that yes, you wants to learn more, go for a startup, learn more, get rise, and you can, in any ways, you'll get better opportunities in future.
And I think yes, I think Dr. G. NR raised a hand. Yes, Dr. NR, you can ask your question. Dr. G. NR, you raised your hand. You want to ask some question? Okay, we go forward. Okay, and how should he decide between employment and entrepreneurship?
Sir, Dr. Rainer has mistakenly clicked that option, sir. So you can continue.
Okay, I can continue. Okay, no problem. Yes, so how should a student decide between employment and entrepreneurship?
So this is also though depending upon person to person kind of risk taking they are. But then my suggestion is the person should go for the employment first, because in case if any time they want to get into entrepreneurship, they should have practical knowledge of work. So once you will get into a job, select a job, which particular kind of business you want to get into, learn more ground level reality, learn more about the specification of work, departments, expenses, profits, future aspects, and everything. Learn first and then get into a business, because that learning, because we really have a student life completely different what we get into entrepreneurship, because that moment you're just a student. Once you learn in practical life of employment, that can be utilized in your business part. So my suggestion is, my personal suggestion is this, that one should get into employment first, then business.
And while, what should be the focus when one is getting, campus place? He or she should focus on the role he or she gets in the job, or he should focus on high salary.
So as a student, so I would suggest one should definitely go for good role comparatively to the salary hike they are getting. One should go definitely for a good role, because there is the opportunity where you can learn more. A good role will definitely enhance your quality of doing work in future. You will do more of practical work, and you can add value to your current profile by whatever you have basic learning from your academics. So definitely one person should go for a good role. Once you will have and you knowledge about that role, once you will get more of experience, salary automatically will come up to you.
Okay.
With you, sir.
Yes. Can you tell me, I see, at the back it is written SME loan, long term loan, secured loan. I mean, can you explain in very simple terms what is the difference between the three? A SME loan, a long term loan, and a secured loan?
Okay, so we are into small segment business loans. So three categories are we actually providing. One is business loan, which is unsecured. We are not taking any property or security against that loan. We give a small ticket size loan to these retailer, wholesaler, manufacturer, shopkeepers, just small business, basically SME segments. So we go up to 5 to 10 lakh as an unsecured loans to them without any property. Second option, the second product we have small ticket size secured loan, which is we give up to 15 lakhs where we take security, which is not fully registered. We take, let's say in Delhi, you say GPA registered properties and Lal Dora properties. We take these properties which is do not have 13 year of chain or some technicality is not completely done. So we give loan against that property comparatively on lower rate of interest comparatively to business loan, which is unsecured, and we go up to 15 lakhs in this case. Thirdly, we do secured loan, which is completely secured loan like a LAP loan against property, again by looking at the person's capability, that how much he can pay, because in every case, whether it is backed up with the security or not, but then definitely we see what kind of sources of money they have. So we evaluate his sources of money or repaying capacity, then we give loan against property on comparatively lower interest rate and against properly fully registered and 13 years with complete 13 years of chain property. So this is LAP for business loan.
Okay. Now you are getting loan from banks. Now, why should a person go with PrestLoans rather than going for a bank? I mean, how does the two compare in terms of the services or in terms of the charges or in terms of the facilities? You know, what is in there to gain, you know, to come to you than to rather than going for to a PSU or a private bank?
Okay, so I will give a small background of these MSME clients. So these are very small shopkeeper wholesalers, which are, who are not actually well aware of the banking criteria. They do not have banking habits. They do not keep every amount which is coming by selling or selling some product. They are not keeping in their bank. So they do not have banking habits, first of all. So, and they are more of deal more into cash. So they do have cash habits. They do not have banking habits. So generally, when a person or a business person apply into bank, they have certain criterias. They look into their bank account, that how much money coming in their bank account, how they're paying to their vendors, their clients. So this is one of the factor which is not in the criteria of banks. They do not entertain, clients who do not have banking habits. Secondly, these small segment which we serve is not keeping all the documents. They are not in habit of maintaining their documents, filing ITR timely. Registrations and other documents are not available with them. So I'm sure these people will approach us because bank is not entertaining them. But yes, getting getting loan from bank is comparatively cheaper from us because we are taking higher risk. We are not getting proper transactions of bank. We are not getting proper ITR filed by the clients. We are not getting the registration properly done. So these kind of financials are not available with the clients. So definitely we are taking more of the risk. So loan from our side is comparatively costlier than the banks. But at the same time, we are faster in terms of services. We meet our turnaround time within 3 to 7 days. We provide loans, which is comparatively a bank is very, very low. In case if a person goes to the bank, they generally takes a time of 15 days to 1 month's time. So in that case, yes, in services, we are faster. In rates, definitely we are higher. But at the same time, we are entertaining all the clients who are rejected from the bank side, and we are giving loans to them or taking more risk.
Now, suppose a person takes loan from your organization, and 90 days is not able to pay. So would you call him an NPA and you will start the process of NPA resolution and go to IBC? I mean, what does it, I mean, what all actions do you undertake to recover your, since you are taking more risk, what all actions do you undertake to recover your amount? And to what extent, you suffer from bad loans?
Okay. So yes, true, sir. In case if a person do not pay for 90 days, it get into NPA. But then yes, proceeding starts from there, since because we start from 138 action, which is check bouncing. During our process, we take some checks from the client. In case if we do not pay, we use that check, and in case check bounces, we start proceeding with section 138 check bouncing. So it starts simultaneously by the collection team from this proceeding. And yes, at the same time, our collection team is also doing follow-up with the client. In case if he pays during certain time, that also we take our case back. So in case again, yes, client's intention is good that he wants to pay in some amount in certain times. So we also cooperate with the clients, because any NBFC wants their clients to retain, and we try to help them out to be a good client. But yes, we at the same time we do a legal proceeding also.
Don't you think this 90-day time period is very short, particularly during this COVID-19 period? It should be more. I mean, it should be case to case basis rather than time bucket.
So for in that case, during this COVID period, 90 days was not considered, because in any ways RBI given the guidelines to NBFC that they can restructure the loan. So in case some loan is under 90 days, we could restructure them. So in that case, their tenure started after just restructuring. So it was a fresh case. After providing restructuring, even then for again 90 days, they are not paying. So I'm sure this is a bad loan, because they are not giving all the facilities which has been provided by the RBI. We are giving them. After that also, he's not paying back for another 90 days. That means 90 days those which we utilize in the restructuring, and 90 days those which we have again given them for repayment, starting repayment. So I guess 180 days is good enough time to give them.
So whatever your file is, you feel it is more of commerce or more of management or more of finance or more of law or all of it?
So I would say this is all of it, sir, because everyone has its own responsibility. Because in any ways, like though during the COVID-19, like as you said, like in case if 90 days was less. So during this time, NBFCs and banks were also facing the same loss, which a client was also facing. But then because the guideline from the RBI side to restructure the loan and waive off the interest rate during that time, COVID time, waive off the penal charges, waive off the bouncing charges, everything was being supported by the NBFC, despite of the fact that yes, NBFC is also running with the same kind of loss which a normal person is doing, because NBFC itself is a business. So in any ways, everybody, for that matter, even if we are we are losing money of that particular time, we are also coping up and we are playing our role towards the client. So everybody has its role who's playing at their side at best.
Okay, now all sectors are going down, particularly due to COVID-19. What is it that financial services sector is booming? It is said after FMCG. I understand people are eating a lot of biscuits, lot of chips, particularly when they're doing work from home. But I understand FMCG sector growing. But what has caused so much growth in the financial sector, and particularly financial services sector? And in that also, if we see the stock markets also, they are booming like anything. While the businesses are going down, the employment is going down. More than 1.1 million people are getting unemployed. The index of industrial production is going down, but the stock market is going uphill. The financial services is growing at the rate of 22-25%. Now, what is such robustness? Where is this sector? Is it all hype, or is it really some robust thing is there in financial services sector, which is making it grow?
So I would say, sir, everything has its own timing. During the COVID-19 financial, this FMCG sector was booming, because even if you sitting at home, the demands of those all product which being created by this FMCG sector was with everyone. Everybody wanted. So during that time, FMCG sector was demanding. In fact, after COVID-19, when this financial market get open, so first we also decided as a financial segment that in case we will start disbursing loan again, we will definitely opt first the person who is into FMCG sector or necessity segment. So they were definitely doing good during the time. After that, when financial segments was open, other industries were open. But then what was the first and foremost requirement of a person? That was financials, money, loan. So again, next part was with the financial segment, because we are into business loans. So the moment the small businesses or big businesses started, so they wanted money. So in any ways, we started disbursing loans. So that was the another segment which was boosting at the next. So I'm sure this financial market was booming at this moment, because they got immediate opportunity. In case we talk about other, because the moment COVID-19 got over, what started first? First, we start with the necessity things. In necessity things, FMCG sector comes. So that was booming during the COVID-19 also. Then next, what comes is your at least financials you want, there you can at least start your business activities next. So financial segment started. In case if you talk about other businesses which remains same, which because during the COVID-19 people lost their earnings, so what they would want, necessity, financials, and then the things which are least demanding will definitely boom up, but then in later stage. Over to you, sir.
Okay, okay. Now, you will be recruiting for your firm also. Now you have two candidates coming in. One who does his BBA degree from a university like Delhi University or Chaudhry Charan Singh University. Then he does his LLB from again university structure like Delhi University or Chaudhry Charan Singh University. He is one candidate, done BBA plus LLB. He spent 3 years in BBA, then does his LLB. Or he does BCom and then he does his LLB. So he has 6 years spent in studying and then he applies for a job. And then there is another candidate who comes to you and he does an integrated program in management from the prestigious IIMs. IIM Rohtak is there, IIM Indore is there. They are offering BBA plus LLB. This integrated program, all of it can be covered in 5 years. Now, as a potential recruiter, how would you weigh the chances of selection of either of them? So candidates should go in for BBA and LLB, or BCom plus LLB, or he should go in for these integrated programs that are started recently by the prestigious IIMs, which give you BBA. You can go in for MBA after that, or you can go in for LLB also. How do you see these candidates maybe joining your firm? So, I mean, what are the pros and cons of choosing this action or going in for an integrated program?
So I would say, sir, I will definitely go for a student who is actually doing the practical, practical knowledge, who's getting practical knowledge in campus. So for me, the person who's doing BBA with LLB later would be perfectly a perfect choice for me, instead of doing anything which is not actually doing practically. Because anyways, in case if I can relate myself, when I was out of the campus, I was utilizing those practical knowledge which I gained during my campus days, and I was actually using that advice which is not available in the those distance learning courses and other courses. So I'll definitely, and when a person is doing BBA, and definitely they are actually inheriting the knowledge of doing business, inheriting their knowledge of practical work, leadership, and passionate towards work. So those things actually been required in an NBFC, where we can utilize their skills in developing our own business instead getting off campus knowledge of a student.
I've been talking to you. I see a very beautiful photograph behind you of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. With whom is he clicking this photograph? Can you tell us something about the photograph?
I'm sure, sir.
This one on your left.
Yes, sir. So this photograph is of Mr. Ashok Mittal, who is the founder and CEO of our company, PrestLoans, who's been awarded by our Honorable Prime Minister for his outstanding contribution in the industry. And during this time, he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. So he even didn't knew. Unfortunately, actually, he got awarded with so many personalities who were actually not that prominent those days. Like he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat those days, and now he's the Prime Minister. In case if I can show you some other pictures, he had a picture with the Pranab Mukherjee and Amit Shah. Those days, yes. He's been awarded with that. So during those days, actually, they were not that prominent. I mean, he was not Home Minister that time, but then he got awarded with 3 prominent personality, and they presently at topmost level.
Can you tell us something more about Shri Ashok Mittal and his journey of creating this PrestLoan company? Some information about the hardships and some information of the triumphs he has made in the process.
So, in fact, it's my honor to introduce him. He's been part of this industry from almost 20 years. He's been one of the personality who's been always asked by Z Media to come and give their expert advices on their live shows related to commodity and financial market. And he was one of the jury member of Z Media those days for their expert comments. And talking about his previous experience, he's been CEO of Carvi, in case if you've heard the Carvi company.
Yes, yes.
And he was worked as a CEO as Kisan Dhan. He was into agri commodity business. And previously he worked with many companies which are into financial segment on the topmost as a CEO level. And in 4 years, in 5 years, in fact, I would say 5 years back, he decided to start his own venture with an NBFC, it's PrestLoans. He started in 2017. PrestLoan, though Lord Krishna Financial Services is a very old company, started in 90s. He took over Lord Krishna Financial Services in 2017 and renamed PrestLoan as a brand name and kept Lord Krishna Financial Services as a registered name with the RBI. And though he had best experience of commodity segment, but then he started to move into the segment where we are actually catering the small ticket size business loans. And he wanted to serve the segment which is most desired and most contributed segment towards the GDP of the company. In case we talk about MSME segment, it's contributing more than 50% of the contribution of these in the our own GDP in in case if we talk about the producing the products. So he always inspired by the personalities who's been awarded, and then he always fascinate the kind of words Prime Minister says, that make in India kind of concept. So he always wants to contribute and promote those segments where when these small businesses are producing themselves, they are producing their wholesaler manufacturer, at least they are doing small ticket size business, small businesses, and he wants to contribute and enhance this segment on a higher level. So this is actually motive behind he's starting this venture.
Okay, I think it's almost time. Now, if there are any questions, it is the 3:55. I have actually stormed you with so many questions, but I think if there's any questions, audience, we'll be happy to take the questions. Yes, any questions? You can raise your hand or unmute yourself.
In NBFC, non-banking financial companies are usually under the control of the Reserve Bank of India. They impose more of the restriction because of the unwarranted growth of business which have no financial discipline earlier, because Reserve Bank of India always come into the forefront, not allowing non-banking financial companies to grow in the earlier stage of 90s. Is that that restriction is continuing with the Reserve Bank of India, just like bank it is promoting, but non-banking financial companies stricter regulation is there with the Reserve Bank of India. Is it so right now nowadays?
So yes, sir. I would say that being into organized sector is comparatively better than the unorganized sector. And I would say it is in a positive way that yes, there is some regulator who's actually handling this NBFC segment. So would say RBI in case posing more of the regulation, then definitely in the benefit of the end user. Because in any ways, any regulator wants that end user should be benefited in end of the day. So yes, it has been regulated by RBI, and being into organized sector and regulated by RBI is definitely a positive sign and good thing.
Okay, madam.
Any other question? I think I'll now ask Professor K.K. Panda to take his chair position.
Is there any question to be asked to Madam Jasoda? I think she has covered almost all aspects of the topic. It's a wonderful one, being a wonderful student of IIF, now a leading vice president of PrestLoans. Really, we are very lucky. I don't think that we'll have. She has covered almost all aspects of the topic, almost all aspects. As a layman, I can understand that she has covered perhaps almost all aspects, whether one starts as a newcomer or as a business person, business leader, or as a person who is interested to experiment on the topic and the experiment by getting loans from the government, getting loans from the PrestLoans or anywhere else, and start a business. She has covered almost all aspects. So I think I must be grateful. I must, on behalf of the organization IIF and others, it's really an honor for all of us to have her to express her views, to acquaint us with almost all aspects. Now, I think, should I request Professor Deepak Bansal to propose vote of thanks for Madam Jasoda Gulliya, Professor Deepak Bansal.
Good evening. I see Debrati wanted to ask a question. In case she has any question before I propose vote of thanks.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Jashoda ma'am. As an alumni, I am IIF pass out 2018-2020 batch, and presently I am working from a career point of view. I just going to ask you a question. From 2020, I am working in a financial research company for last 1.5 years. I am working there. So, do you think this is a good option to move to a banking sector or NBFC sector from this sector, or how can one proceed to go there? Is there any chance for them who are working in a financial research company, not in banking sector or in a NBFC sectors?
It's a good question, I would say, in fact. first of all, I would say that yes, in case if you had if you have less experience, so you should remain yourself in your present job, so where you can learn more about it.
Okay.
I would say in case if you really wants to get into banking or NBFC sector, you should have the desire. In case if you're really enjoying the kind of work you're doing, you should do this because you need more experience, more learning in your present profile, so that you can enhance yourself in the same company and the same kind of segment. And in case if you really wants to get into retail segment of banking, so the right time is now, because once you will get more of the experience in particular segment, then probably you may find some difficulties starting from the very beginning point. So
Yes.
in case if you have that interest, if you really enjoying that research work, I would say that you should remain into the same and you learn more, because there is immense opportunities further in the research companies as well. And there are many companies who are actually recruiting. So once you will have more knowledge about the practical knowledge of your current profile, definitely you can move into the same segment. And if you really want to get into the same retail segment, where you really want to get into client retentionship or clientele customer service based product, so you definitely can move into banking. So think about what is your interest.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Any other question? Okay, Professor Deepak Bansal, our treasurer, I have our organization treasurer, Professor Deepak Bansal will present vote of thanks.
I would like to thank Jasoda for a very inspiring and a comprehensive talk on the subject, and also answering to the question of our students and also other guests. I would also like to thank Professor Panda for taking time and sharing the session. He has always been a support to the college. And I would also like to put in my thanks to Professor Saurabh Agarwal, Principal, IF College of Commerce and Management Studies, for organizing this lecture and also moderating the lecture today extremely well. And I would like to thank Indian Institute of Finance and IF College of Commerce and Management Studies for organizing this inspiring lecture series and bringing our alumni back to the college and let our fresh graduates hear them and get inspired from them. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Professor, actually,
Thank you so
personally,
much, sir, for inviting. Thank you
hello.
so much, sir, for inviting. It's been pleasure that been interacting again with my old faculty members. And it's been honor that I can interact with my, friends batch of my
Yes.
own college. I can relate my life because I could spend 2 years there, and it's a great learning. And I'm actually using my practical learning there in my professional life. And I'm really thankful because in any ways, your college where you get your professional learning contributes a lot in your professional life. And I would say that Indian Institute of Finance turned a player, a sports person, into a professional person, I would say. So this is actually change I have in my life.
Yes. Yes.
So in fact, I remember, I would share, in fact, I remember my those days where I used to go to Deepak sir, and for anything I faced in the computer labs, computer related issues, I used to go and I used to interact with Deepak sir. I remember those days when I've been scolded by Yamini ma'am. I remember by those days when Saurabh sir was suggesting to prepare for the placements. I remember my all days when in fact JD sir asked me and to participate in one of the event. And even I remember that, think about it, the kind of personality development MBA college is providing to the student, where they're giving a platform to walk on a stage in a fashion show, because which gives you a great kind of confidence. So I'm always thankful for Yamini ma'am for providing me that stage also. So it was a great time I had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jasoda.
Thank you, Jasoda. It was an insightful session. I think like all good things must come to an end. We'll have you sometime again back. So thank you. I think now I should call it a session. We keep organizing such sessions, and the next session which we are going to have is on 17th of September, and happy to share with you, those who are currently there, that Mr. Nalini from IIM Shillong, who's a professor of accounting and finance, she has agreed to give her discussion, and she would be speaking on 17th September. So Professor Nalini Prabha Tripathi, who's currently a professor of accounting and finance at IIM Shillong, she would be speaking on finance topic on 17th of September at 3 p.m. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir.
Right.
Session is officially over.
Yeah, thank you, sir.